The modern world is really not that old. Humans have been around about 300,000 years, and yet the modern world is barely 700 years old. Some would argue it's about 300 years old. So we're really just starting to be a modern society, a scientific society. And in the last, few hundred years, we've gone through several major industrial revolutions. The current one, the third industrial revolution, is reflected in information technology and digitization. And something like this video is a product of this third revolution, which I think we'd all agree has been fairly astounding in what it's produced and the capabilities it's given each of us. And then there's sort of this uh, set of characteristics now that are starting to feel even more disruptive, more radical than even the third. And it kind of comes back to four things. And then those are, first of all, the scope of change. When change happens now, it's not restricted to a region or a country. Change can happen on a global basis. A new capability, a new service, a new innovation can spread to billions of people, in weeks. And probably you'll see now in the future a new capability and service has been available to billions in days. And then the impact of that, hopefully it's positive, but if we write a line of bad code in some software, that bad code then distributes to billions of users. The impact can be huge. Fortunately, if we do it right, that code can benefit billions of people. The third is velocity, the sheer speed of how things are changing, how new ideas are spreading. It's really positive, for example, in the medical community. Historically, when new innovations were happening in labs around the world, the breakthroughs, they would be localized, they would then be written about, and then it would take months, maybe years to be distributed. And we want breakthroughs in cancer and diabetes and heart disease. And so in the fourth industrial revolution, these breakthroughs and innovations can be shared and built upon, very quickly. So it can be a positive story, but the speed can be overwhelming too. And I think what will probably meter the velocity of the fourth industrial revolution is the marketplace. Some of us are just going to say enough, enough. It's I can't replace my smartphone, every 9 months anymore. I'm going to keep it for 2 years or 2.5 years. So there's always a plus side and a negative side to each of these. And then the final one is convergence. And I think this is really interesting. If you think about something like artificial intelligence, alone artificial intelligence is a pretty important thing. Nobody nobody doubts that. Some people are excited about it. Some people are a little bit concerned about what it means to humans and our role in the world, our purpose, our jobs. But the way we need to think about AI is AI plus something. So what starts to happen when you think of AI plus, and I'll just pull it out of the air, blockchain plus big data. What does that equal? What happens when you have, AI plus social computing, or AI plus medicine, AI plus energy? This idea of adding things together, converging them, and then evaluating or seeing what can be done, that's very powerful. And, we'd never have something like on-demand vehicles like Uber without convergence, because you can't have Uber with just smartphones or with just online payment systems or just with GPS, or you got to have a lot of different technologies all at a reasonable state of maturity coming together, and a marketplace that's ready to use it. We didn't think we'd be jumping into strangers' cars, that easily, and yet we were happy to do it, and we actually like the service. And so convergence to me also includes things like changing demographics, something we've spoken about already. Things like new marketplace. Things like the quality of our urban systems, our infrastructure, our connectivity. So to me, and by the way, these are all shifting very quickly and often, thankfully, in a positive direction. These four dimensions are different, or these four characteristics are different than any other prior industrial revolution. And for that reason, I think it's very distinctive, and it's gonna change the world in ways that are hard to predict right now.